ball, the sophomore. A club of 16-13. Quickly the other way, the miss by Kathy Schaefer. Finally, Molly Weirman picked a little player at half court. 4:29 to go in the second period. Suburban looking for their first ever girls basketball title. 25 is Sue Hall in the lane, placing Chris Preston with his 3 personal fouls. Kathy Wolf, the rebound. Snyder steals it away.
She's having an excellent game, Scott. She's really picking up the slack left by Chris Preston's absence due to foul trouble.
Chris Preston left this ball game with her team up by 2. They have increased that lead to 5. Off the dribble, the jump shot by Julie Davis.
Hanover would never need a 45-second clock in this game.
They push it end-to-end. They play full court man defense.
First open shot, they take it too.
Davis leading her team with 4 points. Suburban up 3. Again, Suburban hitting from the outside with Mary Straw's ball.
She shoots with a lot of confidence for a sophomore in a championship game.
We're going to get 3 substitutions in the Hanover lineup. Michelle Moxley coming back in, along with Karen Keffer and Susie Knob. And we've got a timeout as well. They go to the benches, and Suburban leads by 5 with 3:23 remaining in the second quarter.
Who cares? Unfortunately, too often that's the case. Nobody cares. But there's an automobile agency in York that does care. Jack Jimbalvo, Pontiac, Mazda, Isuzu. And it starts with Jack Jimbalvo. He wants your business, he needs your business, and he cares about your business. So when you're in the market for a new car or truck, consider the dealer that cares. Jack Jimbalvo, Pontiac, Mazda, Isuzu, Route 30 East in York.
One of the finer things in life costs 20 cents. That's right, 20 cents. It's useful, entertaining, and can save you money. It fills you in on what's going on and helps plan your day. I'm talking about the York Dispatch, York's #1 newspaper. With the York Dispatch, you get news, sports, comics, classifieds, things to do and see. And home delivery costs even less than 20 cents an issue. The York Dispatch, York's #1 newspaper. You can count on it.
Remember, we'll be taking also to District 3 competition and hopefully in the States. Check your cable listings for the times and dates of where we'll be, and we'll show you on Cable 4 York.
Here comes that full court zone now. 1-2-1-1 again, Scott. They didn't pass well against this the first time. Nice coaching move by Roger Miller.
And we're having their problems in getting into the front court. Suburban up 5 with 3 minutes to go in the second period. The baseline jumper by Michelle Moxley. Suburban. The players hit the deck, and we finally got a jump ball. Play really getting rough underneath.
Who said basketball is a non-contact sport?
Injured player for Suburban is number 15, Kathy Lowe, and really hit her hip on the deck fairly hard.
Can be extremely painful. This has been an interesting game, Scott. 20-17. Obviously, Preston out of the lineup has been a factor, but the Hanover girls, they've had runs where they've looked very, very good and runs in which they didn't look so good. They looked very good on defense, but offensively, they're sort of up and down. Let's try to check out what happens here. There's Kathy Lowe. Looks like she actually is tripping at this point over her own player. Now there's contact there, and the two players clean play going for the jump ball, and she hits her hip on the floor. It's painful, but unless she really twisted it going down, she should be all right. It's probably just a bruise.
Roger Miller helps her up, and she'll have to come out of the ball game. And Jill Platts is going to come back in for the Trojans. They lead 20-17 with just under 3 minutes to go till halftime.
what this creates with a Julie Gherkin out with an injury for Hanover, with a Chris Preston out in foul trouble, is you have different players in different positions, and that does create some problems because in practice, yes, you try to work everybody in all the spots, but you don't always have a chance. So that's why you see maybe a little bit more turnovers in this type of situation.
Hanover not being able to capitalize on the absence of Chris Preston with those 3 fouls. Kathy Wolf posting up down low, and she lets it get away.
She wanted to shoot before she actually caught the basketball.
Both teams bonus situations, but only 7 free throws shot to this point. Suburban easily into the front court. Back very quickly to get it to the baseline. Jill Platts. And Suburban looking, check that Hanover looking to run again. A nice fast break. The shot is blocked by Snyder. That ball right to the baseline and really sometimes gets herself into trouble.
She really does, and you know, Hanover had her trapped that time. The foul was called correctly on Susie Knobb, but if Susie Knobb wouldn't have reached in, they really had Platts trapped right down on the baseline. No need for that foul. All right, this was a great, we're just seeing the tail end of that fast break. It was a great pass by Kathy Schaefer, but an even greater block there by Lori Snyder.
Jill Platts to the line. With 2 points in this ballgame. Lori Snyder leads all scorers with 9. Mary Strasbaugh also had 6 points, all from the perimeter. And Suburban, 4 of 6 from the free throw line, leading 22-17.
That's the way to break the zone press. Pass it, don't dribble it.
Michelle Moxley setting up on Lori Snyder. Rebounding Hanover 16-13 to this point.
Karen Keffer just works 110% on defense. I think she looks a little bit tired now. She's been chasing out front and pressuring all night.
And she gets called for the personal foul, her first. And once again, Suburban will be at the free throw line with junior Missy Krause.
You see, she's really working the legs hard here. She's putting the pressure on, and then when the dribble goes, she's not really ready to play defense again because I think she is a little tired and turns her body and creates the foul.
Some good free throw shooting formed by Missy Krause. So a nice deep knee bend, got good rotation on that ball, and it gives her team a 6-point lead.
Roger Miller, I'd be feeling real good right now, up 7 with my center on the bench. She's been able to protect her all second quarter.
And a steal by Suburban. Offensive rebound, and the Trojans lay it in. Mary Strasbaugh. Strasbaugh, the sophomore, playing quite well, and Suburban knocks it away again.
Getting a little rough and tumble out here, Scott. I thought a lot of contact on that play.
Tag number 24, Hanover, Susie Knobb, is still down.
Kind of looked like bowling pins there. Things were flying. Watch this. She's got the ball. She turns. Now watch this. Boom. Bang. They got bodies flying everywhere. Here comes Lori Snyder down on the floor.
Sound like Werner Wolf.
No, I don't want to sound like Werner Wolf.
Personal foul called, a block on Hanover, and Suburban will go to the free throw line, leading by 9. The foul on Karen Keffer, second personal foul.
Coach Strine has to sort of maybe rethink this a little bit. I think his team plays excellent man-to-man defense, but I think by extending the floor and having played 3 games in 6 days, It looks to me like his kids are getting tired, and they may get in continual foul trouble throughout this second half. He may have to come back into a half-court pressure situation.
Ellie Hoover back in for Hanover. Suburban with another offensive rebound, and finally the Nighthawks chase it down. Hoover, number 21, the junior. Michelle Moxley against Jill Platts. We're under a minute to go to halftime. Double dribble out of the point. So Suburban, which finished the first period, Chris Preston with 3 fouls and a 2-point lead. Preston still on the bench, and Suburban has increased the lead to 9. Suburban breaks the pressure, and all alone down underneath is Sue Hall. Again, Hanover throws it away.
Lori Snyder is having a super game. She's very cool, calm, collected, a very intelligent player.
Suburban, Fink would play for 1. 13 seconds on the clock. They let it fly with 9. Offensive rebound, Mary Strasball.
Bennett, Mary Strasball, and that was following her own shot, and no one blocked her out.
And that is halftime. Suburban with Chris Preston on the bench and leading by 13 as we head to the locker room. We'll be right back. This is the York County Girls Championship game on Cable 4 York. Craig, you find out that team statistics don't tell the whole story of the ball game because there's a couple of misleading numbers on that sheet.
Really are. Field goal percentage, Hanover hit 8 of 23. York Suburban 12 of 26, so they had about the equal number of shots. I thought Hanover missed a lot of shots that they forced at times. At the foul line, Hanover went only 3 times, 1 of 3. Suburban 6 of 9 for 67%. Now we get to the misleading statistic. They're reasonably even in rebounds with the Nighthawks at 14, York Suburban with 19, but certainly York Suburban capitalized on their offensive rebounds much more so than did the Nighthawks. And the big statistic in the game is the turnovers. 14 is way too many for one half. The 1-2-1-1 full court zone created that for York Suburban. And I have just been extremely impressed by the play of Lori Snyder and Mary Strasball for the Trojans. I think the Hanover girls are playing very hard and very tough. They look tired to me.
I think we're belaboring the point that Chris Preston is on the bench with 3 fouls, considering that as we'll look in a few seconds at team scoring, she has but 2 points at the half.
I think we are, because I think Suburban has proven in that second quarter that they go well beyond a Chris Preston, and therefore they fit the ultimate concept of a team. And if I was Roger Miller looking at that situation in the second quarter, I'd be mighty happy not only for this game, but for the playoffs, because you're a pretty deep team if you can handle that.
Talk about the fact that Suburban hasn't played in 6 days. Hanover played just 2 days ago. And I think whether or not that's an advantage for one team depends on what style you play, because you think Suburban would be hadn't played for a while, might be a disadvantage. But Hanover's hardcore, hard-nosed style of basketball really is put at a disadvantage when they play a lot of games in a few number of days.
I don't think that 1 day is enough of a recovery period for a young athlete. And when they played Thursday night in the playoffs, then they played Saturday, and now they're playing again tonight. Scott, that's not enough of a recovery period. I don't know what the answer is to resolve the district schedule with the various county and league championships. But I think we have to take a look at it in some kind of common sense approach.
I think somebody's got to look at it seriously, because getting over to boys basketball just for a second, but it also exists in girls. Yes. It also exists in girls, considering that in Mid-Penn Conference, for instance, there are people who are pushing, let's put it this way, in York County, there are people who are pushing for a half and half concept. In the Mid-Penn Conference, the district or the championship game in Division I could conceivably be played 2 days before the District 3 Quad A final could be played, and it's entirely a possibility that the same 2 teams could play in both games.
Well, and not only that, let's just run through it quickly. In the first game, Harrisburg beat Carlisle. Then in the playoff for the first half championship, Carlisle beat Harrisburg. And then Carlisle beat Harrisburg, but Carlisle was beat by Steel High, so they had a playoff Monday night as we speak here. And then also, if Harrisburg would win, then they'd have to play one more time. So that's 5 times just within their league, plus with the complexity of the district play. You're right.
We talked about this earlier on a Springer of Western game. Just to clean it up, I, for one, am totally against half and half because if I could put myself in a coach's shoes for just a second, I think it's at a disadvantage in trying to plan and practice for certain games. It really, I would think, puts a real strain on not only players but on coaches because they have to sleep as well.
Now that I've had time to really think about it and look at that particular situation, I think you're right. I do think that the best team over the overall schedule should be the league champion or go into, as we have it here, to 2 divisions and then have a chance, a 1-game shot at the county championship.
It's the county championship today on Cable 4 York. It's the girls of Suburban leading Hanover 30-17 at halftime. We'll be right back.
Exercise makes you feel better, look better, plus it's a lot of fun. That's why I'm inviting you to come join me every weekday on Cable 4 for a great workout. Now I'll be looking for you either at 6 o'clock in the morning, at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, or 6:30 in the evening. Come on, join us. We make fitness fun.
Brings its own reward. Olympic athletes reach out for the gold. The screen has its Oscar. The stage, its Tony. But for the people of cable television, excellence is awarded the ACE. In 1985, HBO's programs were honored with an unprecedented 25 aces. Reach out for the gold. Come play to win. Never give in. Time is right for you to come and make your stand. This year and every year, HBO is proud to bring you ACE award-winning programs. And when we win for you.
And we're about to throw in this third period of play here in the YCIAA Girls Basketball Championship game. Scott Bradley, Craig Smith, Paul Goodermote. We remind you again, it's District 3 basketball time, not only for the girls but also for the guys, and we'll be taking you there. Among other games, York High boys, the York County champions, against the Lancaster Lebanon League champs, the Lebanon Cedars. And we remind you again to check your cable guide for the times and dates of those broadcasts. See Roger Miller's club, and he's going to be pretty happy considering, again, Chris Preston on the bench, a fine contribution from Lori Snyder and also Mary Strasbaugh.
Absolutely, and as the point I made at the end of the first half, any coach that can sit down one of their top 5 players, particularly an inside player, and build from there. They were leading by 2 when she sat down. They're now leading by 13. A plus 11 is real good in that category. And Scott, if I can clarify one point that I fumbled over time and time again in the first half, Lori Snyder is York County Junior Miss.
Okay.
Not Miss York County.
Well, she is in the ball game right now, number 34, and Hanover will get the ball to start period 3. And as they have all game long, Suburban will pressure right on the ball. 33 is Kathy Wolf for Hanover. Starting for the injured Julie Gerken. 34 is Michelle Moxley.
You know, interestingly enough, Roger Miller did not start Chris Preston. I think that's because they had such a good chemistry going before the half.
Don't mess with a good thing. And Roger Miller's team up 30-19. Hanover pressuring full court, and they take it right away. Kathy Wolf was going to lay it in, and an offensive foul on Hanover's Kathy Schaefer. Turnover on the Nighthawks, and Suburban will get it right back. 42 is Mary Strasbaugh. Number 15 on the point is Kathy Lowe. 31 is Jill Platts. 25 is Sue Hirsch. And the basket by Kathy Lowe gives her team a 13-point lead. 2-on-1 break, and quickly Suburban hustles back. Number 20 for Hanover's Karen Kepper. 13 is Kathy Schaefer. Wolf posting up, a foul on Snyder. Lori Snyder's first personal foul, 1 on each team now.
Suburban zones the inbounds play here, 2-3. They'll probably stay in there.
Set play, Michelle Moxley not able to get off the shot though. They'll set up the regular offense. Moxley is number 34.
Suburban's man-to-man has been effective, but at this point, up 13, they could probably pack in a zone now in Hanover and really create problems.
Wolf coming out in the high point. The ball will go to York Suburban. 32-19, Suburban trying for their first ever county championship. Lori Snyder with a game high. Check that, his second team high, 9 points. Teammate Mary Strasball has 10. And make it 34-19 in favor of the Trojans, who steal it right back.
She is an excellent outside shooter, Mary Strasball is. Nice touch.
Strasball with 12 now. Lead all scorers. Jill Platts, not much of an offensive threat, just content to sit at the point. Right through the hands of Sue Hirsch and out of bounds. Check that Sue Hall.
That was a good pass. Had a lot of zip on it. You have to be stepping towards a pass like that and really concentrate on catching it. Mary Strasball is going to be a fine player if she continues to improve.
Trying to force the jump shot was Karen Schaefer, and she did draw the personal foul on Suburban.
The only thing Suburban doesn't want to do in this situation is put Hanover on the foul line. There's no need to be that tight at this point because Hanover is not shooting well from the field. Let them get that shot and dominate the defensive boards.
So Suburban with their first problem in the game of sorts already, with Chris Preston with 3 personal fouls, and Kathy Lowe has a matching number.
Now watch this. She tries to do a little bit too late and leaves her feet, of course, which is a cardinal sin on defense. Stay down and make them shoot over you. Just get a hand in the face.
Kathy Schaefer, 5'7" senior, trying to make 1 of 2. 34-20, Suburban with the ball and the lead. Kathy Wolf manages to save it, but Suburban steals. Mary Strasball is short. Hanover still looking to push it up court. Once again, Kathy Schaefer took that ball into traffic, but drew the personal foul.
See what this call is on here. I thought Lori Snyder reached in, but I guess from the other side it was... Did he call 21? Let's take a look at this from this angle. 31, Jill Platt. See, Lori Snyder's right there. She lets her go by. Right there is the reach. Good call by Frank Spells.
Kathy Schaefer, 4 points in the ball game.
It's one of those plays that proves how angles can be deceiving, and the official is usually at the correct angle.
And again, she converts 1 of 2. They force a jump ball, and that should go to Suburban. Jill Platts pleading her case to Frank Spells.
She's a very emotional player. You'll see what happens here. She's frustrated, first of all, because she loses control of the ball right here. She turns into traffic, puts the ball on the floor without looking up, loses control, and then when she goes after it, she gets sandwiched. Boom, right there between 2 Hanover players.
Missy Krause comes in for Kathy Lowe in the Suburban lineup. Hanover almost forces another turnover, and we'll jump it up, and we'll go to Hanover.
I sometimes talk about the improvements in the girls' game, Scott, over the years since it started. One of the things that they still got a long way to go is on the passing game, improving the touch on the passes.
You're watching the York County High School Girls Basketball Championship on Cable 4 York.
As is your transmission, I refuse to haul this load till I get a Cotman checkup. Suit yourself.
Cotman fixes transmissions proper, honest, and fast.
Cotman promised I'd be ready by 5. Where were you?
I thought they were just saying that.
Don't touch me, Joan.
That's why we're growing strong as a nationwide chain of independent dealers.
Could you read that part about never paying for transmission repairs again?
All right. The Cotman Lifetime Guarantee.
Come up to Cotman.
Certified.
Cotman Transmission in the York County Shopping Center. Call 755-6001.
York Suburban 34, Hanover 21, and this is the YCIAA Girls Basketball Championship game. Hanover 20-3, and the 1980-81 Girls Champions, led by Betsy Whitman.
Sharon Holtzapple and Frank Spell's doing a fine job officiating tonight's game.
Kathy Lowe against Sue Hall. Hanover trying to take advantage of a little bit of suburban foul trouble. Michelle Moxley, and the rebound to Jill Platts. Hanover had a fine time at the free throw line in terms of numbers made, but only shot 56% against Littlestown in districts and making 24 tries. And they'll get it right back, trailing by 13.
Well, if you're playing the numbers game now, being down 13, Don Strine's looking at almost 5 minutes to go in the third quarter. He just wants to be within striking distance, around 10, 8 to 10 going into the fourth quarter.
And a turnover out on the point that kind of kills because it really wasn't forced.
Right, and I'm sure the player is as frustrated with that as are her teammates.
Susie Knob will come back in for Hanover, and Kathy Wolf's going to take a seat. Straws ball, Jill Platts and Lori Snyder. Sue Hall and Missy Krause, the Suburban 5. Through the hands of Krause, but it was touched by a Hanover player. Coach Roger Miller, Suburban. Mary Straws ball leads all scorers with 12 points. Number 42 for the Trojans. Jill Hall again goes into the baseline. Kicks it out of trouble, though. It'll go to bounds, and it will go to Suburban.
Mary Straw's ball follows her shot as well as any player I've seen this year.
That includes the male players as well, I think.
I meant that, yes.
Just over 4 minutes remaining, third period, and Suburban by 13. Lori Snyder trying for double figures. Missy Krause misses, and Hanover gets the rebound. Don Strine pushing it front court. Offensive rebound, and Kathy Schaefer got hammered.
She not only got hammered, she got karate chopped, tomahawked. That was a foolish foul, really.
And Chris Preston is going to come back in with 2 points and 3 personal fouls. Jill Platts is going to take a seat in the bench.
Yeah, I think it was this Mary Straw's ball here, I think, with this foul. Watch his shot. Now it comes off on the offensive boards. Nobody blocks out Hanover right there coming across. And there is contact made.
Mary Straw's ball's foul is her second. Kathy Schaefer with 3 free throws and a total of 6 points.
Now, I think it'll take Chris Preston a minute or so here to get back into the flow of the game, having sat since the end of the first quarter.
Check that with that make. She has 5 free throws made and a total of 7 points. Suburban leading by 11.
She needs to touch the ball, she being Chris Preston, at least this first time down.
Got your wish, but it's out of bounds. It'll stay with Suburban.
You want to make her get into that game as quickly as possible. And she's up against a much smaller Hanover lineup.
Missy Krause's shine. Hanover with a chance to get it under double figures. Maddox on the run with Susie Knob. And another Hanover offensive rebound. It's Suburban just committing fouls left and right.
they're really their own worst enemy at this point, Scott, because if they continue to put this smaller Hanover team on the line and allow them to shoot fouls while turning the ball over on the other end by bad shots, they're going to allow Hanover to come right back into this game. Now watch how far they give tremendous penetration to number 24, Susie Nubb. She gets to shoot from about 7 feet. They need to stop her at about 14 feet.
Chris Preston